The time is 12 o'clock. Here is the midday news. First, the top stories. President Buhari says he needs longer period of rest in London. Police arrest man for killing rival over woman in Ijebu, Ogun State. Jonathan endorses Sharif as PDP national leader, says no more actions. Army commander moves to southern Kaduna as herdsmen renew attacks. On the foreign scene, Gambian police arrest 51 for harassing President Barrow supporters. EU Jewish communities demand special protection against terror attacks. Good afternoon, I am Chenya Igbo, bringing you the news and details shortly. President Muhammadu Buhari, who is on a medical vacation, says he'll need a longer period of rest in the UK. Buhari, in a statement by his special advisor in media and publicity, Femi Adesina, says the decision is due to the several tests which were carried out during the medical checkup since he arrived in London. He explains that this necessitated his staying back in London longer than the initial planned 10-day vacation. The president thanks Nigerians for their prayers and good wishes for him. Buhari assures Nigerians that there is no cause for worry. Following the controversy trailing his prolonged stay in London, several top government officials, including the Senate President and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, had visited him in the UK. Others who visited him are Governor Ibikunle Amosu, as well as APC national leader Asiwaju Bola Tinubu and the former party's interim national chairman, Chief BC Akande. Ogun State government says plans are underway to construct more structures in public hospitals across the state. Health Commissioner Dr. Babatunde Ipaye, who made this known while commissioning the newly built Children General Outpatient Emergency Ward at the State Hospital, Abeokuta, promised that it will be replicated across the state. Ipaye said the state government was more concerned about delivering qualitative service in all its hospitals across the state. The commissioner, however, blamed the dwindling allocation from the Federation account for the level of infrastructure of the public health facilities across the state. The permanent secretary of the State Hospital Management Board, Dr. Adesoya Ayinde, and the State Hospital's medical director, Dr. Kayode Oladende, appreciated the effort of the state government towards the project. The 6 beds ward has separate laboratory, pharmacy, among others. A 43-year-old man is now in the police net for allegedly killing a 36-year-old rival during a fight over a woman in Ogun State. The suspect, Adebisi Akirimola, allegedly killed his rival Ademola Ashimiyu at Ajebo village near Ijebu on Sunday. The suspect, according to the spokesman of the State Police Command, Abimbola Oyeyemi, purportedly claimed that Ashimiyu had been threatening him over the woman and accusing him of snatching her from him. Police spokesman says the suspect, during interrogation, explained that the trouble started when the deceased saw him with a woman on their way from farm, leading to a hot argument during which he attempted to use a machete on him. The suspect says this prompted him to bring out a dim gun and shoot him dead in the process. Oyeyemi says the body of the deceased has been deposited in a mortuary for autopsy, while the police has recovered the dim gun from the suspect. Public and private primary and secondary schools in Ogun State will proceed on mid-term holiday for the second term of 2016-2017 academic session as from Thursday this week. The 2-day holiday will end on Friday, February 24. Science and Technology Commissioner Mrs. Modupe Mujota, who announced the holiday in a release, says the schools will resume for academic activities on Monday next week. Crisis within PDP has deepened as former President Goodluck Jonathan endorsed Senator Alimadu Sharif as the national chairman of the party. Jonathan, after a closed-door meeting with Sharif at his residence in Maitama area of Abuja, says that Sharif is the leader of PDP. Dismissing claims that PDP is factionalized, Jonathan contends that the party is one, with Sharif as the national chairman. Sharif, also speaking to newsmen after the meeting, promises not to join issues with anyone on the appeal court's judgment on the party's leadership crisis. Meanwhile, the PDP Caretaker Committee, led by Senator Ahmed McCarthy, at a crucial meeting in Abuja, has resolved to challenge at the Supreme Court the appeal court's ruling endorsing Animode Sharif as the party's national chairman. The faction, at a meeting held at the Ekiti State Governor's Lodge in Asokoro, Abuja, also passed the vote of confidence on McCarthy as the party's leader. The meeting was shifted to the Governor's Lodge after the barricading of the original venue of the meeting in Abuja. It was attended by top party leaders, including 4 PDP state governors, several of PDP former governors, members of the Board of Trustees, former ministers, members of the National Assembly, and state chairman of the faction. An estimated 9 million students who wrote the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME) were denied admission into Nigerian universities between year 2010 and 2015. The figure released by the National Bureau of Statistics shows that 11,703,709 students applied for admission, but only 2,674,485 were admitted during the period. The agency, in its report, says in 2010, 1,513,940 students applied, but only 423,531, or 28% of them, were given admission. In 2011, 1,636,356 applied, while 417,341, or 26% of the total, were admitted. Also in 2012, only 447,176 students out of 1,632,838 who applied, or 27% of the total, were admitted, while only 24% were admitted in 2013, 25% in 2014, and 30% in 2015. Army Commander and Kaduna State Police Commissioner have relocated their base to the southern Kaduna following the renewed attack by suspected herdsmen on communities in the region. In the fresh attack, more than 20 people were reported killed and several houses set on fire by the invading gunmen on 5 communities in Jema and Kaura local government areas last Sunday and on Monday. Garrison Commander of the Army 1st Division, Brigadier General Ismail Isa, and the State Police Commissioner Agiole Abi had moved into the area to coordinate the operation of security forces against the gunmen. Governor Nasir El-Rufai says the 2 battalion of soldiers and 10 squadron of mobile policemen are battling the armed herdsmen in the area. Soldiers and suspected militants have engaged in a heavy shootout at Festac town in Lagos metropolis following the abduction of an army lieutenant in the area. The heavy shooting lasted for several hours on Monday at 6th Avenue and 7th Avenue. Sources say the army officer, while leading a team of soldiers on a patrol in the town, was abducted on Saturday by militants operating from the creeks in the area. The suspected militants were said to have attacked the patrol, leading to the deployment of more soldiers to rescue the abducted officer, and the situation was tense overnight in the town. You're still listening to the Midday News from Rock City 101.9 FM. Up next, we bring you foreign, business, and sports news. Please stay with us. On the foreign scene, Gambian police have arrested 51 people in a former stronghold of former President Yahya Jammeh for harassing followers of new leader Adama Barrow. Police spokesman Ode Kante says the 51 were arrested on Sunday in Kapender, a Jammeh stronghold, for insulting people returning from Barrow's inauguration celebration at the National Stadium on Saturday. He explains that 26 of the arrested were juveniles and were released on bail, while 25 were being detained pending an investigation. A spokesman for the Alliance for Patriotic Reorientation and Construction, APRC, Jammeh's party, when he was in power, said those arrested were APRC supporters and were wearing t-shirts bearing an image of Jammeh's face. Jewish communities in Europe say they're vulnerable following the terror attacks across the continent in recent years. They want governments to dedicate extra policing and intelligence efforts to keep them safe. Community leaders meeting at the Munich Security Conference also warned that the rise of populist far-right parties threatens their way of life. Jewish leaders say the plight of the people in Europe will always be seen in the shadow of the Holocaust, in which 6 million Jews were killed. 72 years later, Jewish communities across the continent say anti-Semitism is on the rise again. A session was convened on Sunday on the sidelines of the Munich summit to debate how Europe's Jewish communities can be protected, attended by former Israeli Foreign Minister Zipi Livni. Next is the business news. Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) has directed banks to open foreign exchange retail offices at major airports in the country to ease foreign exchange transactions for intending travelers. The Apex Bank promises to provide more foreign exchange to the banks to meet urgent demand by Nigerians for school fees, personal and basic traveling allowances, as well as medical needs immediately. The bank directs that the foreign exchange transaction by intending travelers to be settled by banks at a rate not above 20% of the interbank market rate. The shift in the foreign exchange policy is coming less than a week after the National Economic Council asked the Apex Bank to review its foreign exchange policy to save the naira. News. Nigeria champions Rangers have received a cash boost after they advanced to the first round of this year's CAF Champions League at the expense of Algeria's JS Soria. Instead of a proposed $190 per player as travel allowance to Algeria, each player will now be paid $730, while officials and coaches will be paid $1,000 each. The players will also each receive 50,000 naira as match bonus for the Champions League tie. Rangers will next month tackle Zamalek of Egypt in the first round of the Champions League, where they edged past Jessara on away goals rule on Sunday. They drew 1-1 with JSS a week ago in Algeria, and before both teams played out a scoreless draw in the return leg in Enugu on Sunday. Back midday news, and just before we go, the major stories once again. President Buhari said he needs longer period of rest in London. Police arrested man for killing rival over woman in Ijebu, Ogun State. Jonathan endorsed Sheriff as PDP national leader, says no more factions. Army commander moved to Southern Kaduna as headsmen renewed attacks. On the foreign scene, we reported that Gambian police arrested 51 for harassing President Barrow's supporters, and EU Jewish communities demanded special protection against terror attacks. For more stories and to listen to us live, please log on to our website www.rockcityfmradio.com/live. Thank you very much for listening. I am Chiene Igbo, and I wish you a great day ahead. Good afternoon.